Hey everybody, it's Susan Lazar Hart here. I'm just going a little bit early, checking all my screens, make sure I'm here for you with Ask Susan Live. I'll hum a few bars and see what comes up. We're just gonna do a few things here. Let's see how we're showing up. We showing up yet? Nope. Okay. Cool. Then let me see if I can find where the comments are. So if one of you wants to give me a tutoring on this, I'd be happy to have it. Let's see. Last time I did it, and it's getting too complicated here. Okay, it's the hour, so I'm going to just, I don't see myself live on here. All right, let's see if this came through on Ask Susan. Don't know. Okay, I'm gonna, I might just stop and start this again. Comments will appear here. Okay. Cool. Oh, good. All right, I'm on. Yay. Thanks, Crystal. Thanks for letting me know. Whew. All right, let's go. This is kind of fun. Let's see. Here we go. This goes out here. And that goes in here. All right. Welcome everybody to Ask Susan Live, your place to be in this community. Ooh, it rhymes. I like it. So glad you're here. Pop in your name, where you're coming from, so I know that you're listening. This is a special one. I want to speak to something that keeps popping up recently with my clients, and maybe that's you. You think things through, you make plans you don't complete, you try to make the right decisions, you're waiting to feel clear before you move, and yet nothing's changing. You're still in the same place you were 3 months ago, 6 months ago. Well, if that's you, just drop me in the chat. I know I've been there, and especially now with what's going on in the universe and the planet's changing, you can tell I'm into it. I'm rolling up my sleeves on this one. For those of you who haven't met me, Susan Lazar Hart here, your transformational mindset coach. I work with women around the world who are done doubting their choices and ready to trust themselves in creating a life they love. So, how many of us just stop trusting the parts of us that we know are here, but we just can't find them? That's where we're starting today. See, I'm going to show you the pattern that keeps you stuck in this loop. And then we're going to shift one shift that you can use today, you can walk home with, that'll start rebuilding that self-trust and open up you to you. Sound good? Yeah. Something that I play with every day, because we shift and change. Our world shifts and change, our bodies shift and change, and we're taught at a very young age not to trust what we know to be true. So here's what it looks like. You feel the pull to make a decision, and then you pull back. You tell yourself you need more time, more certainty, and then you wait. And you wait. You distract yourself, perhaps Netflix, overeating, phoning friends, you stall. Yeah. And then instead of feeling better, what happens? We feel more anxious. Yeah. That's the loop. You start and stop, and then start to wonder, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. It didn't come out of nowhere. At a very young age, your decisions were questioned. You were dismissed. Perhaps you were overridden. Yeah. Like when you're very little and you tell somebody, this is what I know to be true for me, and they say, how do you know that? Or you say, I actually really like this. You know, I can remember my kids getting dressed 3 and 4 times in one day when they were like toddlers. And it was like, what do you think of me now? Well, we had a very creative household, so we didn't have a point of view. But how many of you were told, oh, you don't look okay, you're not dressed appropriately, you're not saying the right thing, whatever that is. And so as you grew up, you felt it was safer to hesitate than it was to choose for you. And it made sense now. I mean, it made sense then, but now? Now it's costing you. So I want you to actually sit with this. Let's go back 6 months ago. What has it cost you from what you wanted 6 months ago to now? What does it cost you? Time you didn't get back? Energy spent going in circles? Decisions that you almost made but kept putting off until you felt ready? You see, this is so important. There are two different things that actually feel the same but aren't. One is discernment. That's when you generally require more information or more time to put something together. That I call wisdom. The other is stalling. You already know, but it doesn't feel safe to move forward. And that's where your self-trust gets broken down. See, most women think they're just being discerning, but they're actually stalling. Yep. So I want you to write this one down. Self-trust is not about clarity through deciding. It's about rebuilding your own self-trust through action. I'm going to say that again. We think, as long as I decide, I'll get clear. I'm going to write it down, I'll get clear. And then you put it away and you get distracted or whatever that was. You don't focus because you actually don't know what the clarity is until you get in there and try it. Not perfect. Messy middle. Try it. See what it feels like. Take that one step. That's where you keep the promises to yourself. Because every time you say you'll do something and you don't, your subconscious is saying, yeah, you see, I told you, better just be safe than sorry. Don't try anything new because you know who you are in that old self and you've been working around it so far. That's about survival, but I'm talking here about thriving. Because once you send that new message, look what I just tried. Your brain goes, okay, this kind of feels good. Your nervous system calms down, gets excited with the joy of being you. And over time, as you lean into this, everything changes. So I want to tell you about Allison, who actually wrote me and said, Susan, I want to change careers like you did, do something meaningful with my life, but it feels like it's too late. Can I afford it? Is it too late? Will I fail? What will people think of me? Will I lose people? I won't know myself. How can I count on this? You see, we choose something that feels like joy, and then we weigh it down with all of these decisions. And there's no self-trust in there. Those are decisions, those are judgments, those are regulations from other people. It has nothing to do with you. So what's going on with Allison is she's standing at the bottom of the mountain, trying to see the top. So we all do that, and then we don't move. But here's the only thing, if you were like Allison, and Allison, I know you're listening, there's only one thing I want you to do is not make a big decision. Like, what career can I choose? How can I afford it? It's a small one. And this sounds really easy, but I want you to invest in you. Spend 20 minutes exploring something that brings you joy. Yeah. Not what makes sense, not what's practical. It's what lights you up from your heart. No pressure, no commitment, just curiosity. Yeah. What would this feel like? That's the data you're looking for. Being present with that. Now, some of you might say, Susan, I've tried that and I don't feel anything. Well, it doesn't mean that anything's wrong. It means you've been disconnected from yourself, your soul, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, your God source, your inner voice, what brings you joy for so long that it's hard to tap into it. So here's your work. Start listening again. Just be with, I wonder what would bring me joy. And just be with that. How does that feel? Pick one thing. One thing. Not the whole thing. One thing. Be with it. And be present with it. And then let's see what that creates for you. You see, when someone says, I don't know what to do, I can't make myself do it, what they really mean is, I just don't feel safe yet. And that feeling, it doesn't come first. Choice comes first. Choice comes after you move, after you try it out, after you indulge. I often say, just indulge it. What would that feel like? When I'm working with a client, I'll say, let's go out 6 months from now. You're living a life you love. What does that feel like? What are you doing? Where are you? And then let's bring it back to the present And what's one small step you can take? And usually it's about investigating. What would that look like? What would that feel like? What's required of me here? Present, 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 not the big steps. What's one small step I can take to investigate this? You know, I went back to university when I had 4 kids under the age of 12. And the house, everything, and then there was something missing. I'd gone to university when I was 16, and there was just lots of fun. It was the hippie days. It was like hitchhiking and rock and roll and all kinds of good stuff. And college, who needs that? And I always wanted to go back to see what that experience is like. And so I did that. I think I must have been about 30, maybe 31. And I thought, okay, how can I shift and change what isn't working for me? What would I love? Well, I'd love to investigate going back to school. And so you never go back, you go forward. So I started taking night courses during the summer, getting babysitters, and then moved into, I thought, well, what I'd really love is painting. And so I moved into getting a bachelor's in fine arts. It took me 10 years. 10 years. I took 2 courses a semester and I dropped one if it was just too much. And that's what I'm talking about. It's, what was that choice? Oh, let me investigate what's here in my city for me to investigate going to college with. Oh, wow. Okay, there's this university that will allow me at this age to take 1 or 2 courses a year. That's what I'm talking about. It's not like, how do I get my degree, or what degree am I going to get, or how can I, no. When we start saying, how can I, let the universe support you with the how. Yeah. Choose. What does that feel like? I started off in women's studies and sociology. And then I was like, no, I think I want to go back. I want to go into painting. Forget that. So, you know, as I was always curious, I always kept the sociology, the psychologies in there, as well as the painting and the printmaking and the screen making and all the good juicy stuff that turned my body on and turned me on and brought me joy. So this is what I want for you before this week is over. I want you to pick one thing that you've been avoiding, that you've been circling, saying, oh, maybe. Something small, something you can be present with in under 30 minutes, right? Write it down, then do it, right? Whatever that is, do that research, go for that walk, make that call, whatever that is for you. Take time for yourself, right? Say no. It's not to change your life overnight, but to start changing your relationship with yourself. Yeah. So I'm just checking if there's any questions here. I don't see anybody else on here. If you're watching later, please #replay and come on in with your questions. And if you're here with me now and I don't see your questions, pop them in here and I'll come right back in and respond. And if you're sitting here thinking, oh, I've done this pattern, I don't want to keep circling this. This is ringing true for me, then don't let this be another conversation that you're just going to put away to the side. Have a re-listen. Know that I work with women one-on-one to rebuild that self-trust at the identity level. So you're not thinking about your next chapter, you're actually moving into it. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, not on my watch. So if that's you, book a clarity call. I'll put the link in the comments below. We'll look at where you're stuck. We'll look at where you're there, and what it would be like to change it. What would you love? It's no fluff, no pressure, just truth and your real next step. Remember, you don't need more time. You need to trust yourself enough to move on. And that's why we're here in Fearless Women Rising. Once again, if you've got a question, pop it in. I check in. If you're watching this, we'll move these over to our YouTube channel, Susan Lazar Hart, Fearless Women Rising. Press subscribe. Let's invite the world in to actually changing and shifting what isn't working. That's why we're here. We came here, as Émile Zola said, the French philosopher, to shout out loud. So let's do it. Let's do it. Thanks so much for joining me. I adore you all. Again, I'll be looking for your comments. And here's to creating lives we love living, one bold step at a time. Live boldly, love greatly, and be that fearless leader you came here to be, because the world needs more of you and that special sauce that only you have as we rise together. Mwah! Big love, and thanks for popping in.